So can you imagine? I started something that I didn't even intentionally mean for it to become a business. It came a business, and then I won an award within less than a year of starting it.
Get into it.
Our listeners know what we're trying to do here. Basically build the future for up-and-coming Black leaders, Black entrepreneurs, Black athletes, Black entertainers, just paving the way for the future of Black people. So we have one of our guests on today. Her name is Bertha. I love her art.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do.
I was born in Ghana and raised there, and then I came to the UK when I was about 10. I basically just love art. You know, I think I've been blessed with the creative ability that I didn't know until about 2 years ago. I mean, I've loved art, but I didn't actually realize that I could make art and people would want to buy it. And about 2 years ago, I came back from Ghana and I was looking for work. I couldn't find work at the time, even though I have a lot of experience in so many different fields. I just couldn't find work, maybe because I've been out of the country for a number of years. And, you know, when you come back and then you have to start all over again, and, you know, finding your feet and all that. And so I just kind of came into contact with the image of Africa. And I thought, this is a beautiful picture. Came home and I thought, I wonder if I could replicate this. Initially, I wanted to buy the picture, but then I thought, let me see if I could make it. So I did a little prototype and I just kind of, you know, gave it to my brother as a gift. And then I circulated it on my social media. I didn't tell them I did the artwork. I just said, oh, what do you think about this? You know, would you buy it if it was something that, you know, I was selling? And everybody just gave me such great feedback. And as they say, the rest is history. So, yeah.
You were one of the first people who talked about, throwing your idea out there without telling people. Which is actually pretty, you know, it's a good idea to get a genuine response. That's how I feel. You always get a genuine response, you know, by telling people, like, I didn't do it. I don't know that, but like, look at this.
Yeah. I just thought, I'm a little bit like that anyway. Sometimes I don't like to give too much away. But I really genuinely just wanted to know what people thought, because I did not start out to do it as a business. I don't know the first thing about starting a business. I didn't study business. I did it maybe for like 1 year or something and gave up, you know. But I mean, my personal experience in working in so many different fields gave me the mindset and I guess the work ethic to be able to kind of vision something and be able to follow it through. So yeah, it was literally like, let me just see what people will think and hear their feedback. And it was really good. It was so positive that I ended up, I think the first thing I did was I thought of a name. My brother helped me with the name. And then we said, all right, cool. The next thing would be to set up an Instagram page. You know, good old Instagram. You cannot go wrong with Instagram. And then from there, I just kind of started creating. You know, people started giving me orders. Oh, yeah, I would like you to create this for me. And my first image really was just the map of Africa. That's what I was focusing on. And it kind of just evolved from that. You know, I've had a few people say to me, do you do this full time? And I'm like, no, I do it part time. I work in social care. So that's my full time job. But the business is run part time. However, I I have to spend my free time working on the business, you know. And for some reason, people have actually made the assumption that I'm literally just doing this full time, because they look at my work and they're like, wow. First of all, I'm representing my culture. I'm representing my community. And I've always learned that when you do something with a spirit of excellence, it kind of shows a different form to those who are not only buying your product, but watching how you do what you do. I kind of make sure that whenever I either do an exhibition or I do a pop-up shop, is done with excellence, you know, because one of the saddest things for me sometimes within our community is that you don't always hear positive things about the work we put out. You know, it's either done in a little bit of a shoddy way, you know, things are not finished with quality, but yet people want you to pay money for it. You hear things like, oh, customer service is not great within, you know, if you go to a black shop to either buy food or to get your clothes made, because we, you know, we tend to make, within my culture, the Ghanaian or the African culture, we make a lot of our clothing. And if you go to a seamstress or you go to a tailor, you want them to do it and finish it well, because you're paying them for the service. And I always hear the negatives, nothing, not with me. It will not happen with my business. And so I do spend a lot of time ensuring that when somebody pays through my PayPal or they pay through mobile and they say, oh, I want this image, that I take time and I create it to the best of my ability, so that when they receive it, they're like, wow, yes, I made the right choice. I paid my good money for this, and this is exactly what I was expecting. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, it's not an easy thing, running a business and working full time. However, I think when you're passionate about what you do and you get great feedback as well, it's motivating for you that you can keep going, you know?
You literally, when you were talking, you mapped out the steps of like how you guys started and like
Yeah.
how, you know, how your business grew. But like, let's talk about the award. Like, how do you feel about that? Like,
Ah, amazing. Amazing. So, in 2019, somebody, I think a friend of mine, entered me. I don't even know how it started. I think my friend entered me for this award thing, and I'm not a competitive person. I don't have that spirit in me where I have to be like, hey, I need to win, I better win. No, I was a little bit nervous about it, but I thought to myself, well, I know people who appreciate my work. I've had such great feedback from people. Maybe they might vote for me. So I just put it out there. I hit people up on Instagram, on Facebook, on WhatsApp, phone calls, whatever. I just told people, vote, vote, vote. And I think it came to the finalists, and then I was nominated as the two finalists, and I just couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. And then they didn't tell us who had won until the awards evening. So then I got the invite that, yes, you know, you are now a finalist. We're going to be having an awards evening. You and your guests are invited to this plush hotel in Mayfair. It was beautiful. And then on the night, it was announced that I was the winner of Black Women in Business. And yeah, my award was Business Startup of the Year. So can you imagine? I started something that I didn't even intentionally mean for it to become a business. it came a business, and then I won an award within less than a year of starting it. So it was a little bit surreal. It was a little bit surreal for me, but it was such an amazing feeling that people appreciated my work, and that I would actually win something, win an award for doing something that I love. You know, that was just a blessing for me.
It's really interesting. I'm really proud of you. I'm really proud that you got, that far. I'm really proud that you're still
Thank
going.
you.
Do you have any advice for any professionals who's also working as well and wants to, maybe wants to do something creative?
My advice, I guess, that I would give to anybody who wants to do anything in the creative side, don't be afraid. Do you know what I mean? Don't be afraid. I am not the kind of person that's afraid to start or do anything. I was a little bit apprehensive about doing this because I've never done anything like this before. Nobody has ever come to me on social media and said, oh yeah, hi Bertha, I'm trying to do X, Y, Z. Would you? Oh, normally I'm like, no, thank you. But I think sometimes you have to take risks in order to kind of learn something new. But if you're afraid to step out, you'll never know what you're able to do. You'll never know what you're capable of. So if anybody is wanting to start something within the creative field, whether it's singing, dancing, art, performance, whatever, I would say just start. Sometimes you start and then you learn more as you progress, but also let people give you feedback so that you know that whatever you are aiming to do is actually going to make a difference to people. Because I want my artwork to bless people. I want my artwork to be something that you are inspired by. So if you're a singer, if you're a dancer, if you're a rapper, if you make pottery, if you do art, whatever it is, that you have something that somebody else doesn't have. And whether it's, the thing is, it's not even always about being able to sing, right? But even somebody who thinks they can't sing can still be a blessing to somebody who hears them sing, because we are all touched by somebody in some way, shape, or form, aren't we? And I just think that we should not be afraid to step out. Don't be afraid to put yourself out there, because most of the time it's about self-esteem, isn't it? It's about confidence. It's about you kind of believing in what you're going to put out, and believing that, you know what, even if somebody says, I wasn't feeling that would not put you off, but that you will try again. When I first started with my artwork, the things that I did, I didn't always feel like, oh yeah, that was one of my best ones. But as years have gone on, I've grown. Feedback is important from people, because that's how you evaluate what you're doing, and that what you're doing is actually making a difference to people. Yeah, so I would just say start. However small, however little, just start.
I think that's really good advice. A lot of people definitely need to hear that.
Cool.
In my opinion, I think I've always tried to go for it.
Yes.
I think maybe there's probably like times when I was younger. There was some probably much more grandiose artist ideas that I had, but
yeah.
Recently I've just been going for it, and things have been pretty straightforward. But I think that's some of the best advice to give people who are professionals, who are seeking to be creative.
Whatever you're doing, you know that someone is actually watching you. Matthew, somebody's watching you. Somebody's watching how you're doing life, and they've been inspired by how you're doing life. They're watching the moves you're making. They may not even tell you, That's sometimes the most scariest thing, that those who may be silent in your circle or outside of your circle, they're watching, they're thinking, rah, look how he's doing what he's doing. Yeah, he's doing this, he's doing that. And they are either motivated by you or they're thinking, rah, I need to step up my game, you know? And so I like to surround myself with people who are on that level. But ultimately, I need to be able to look at yesterday and think, right, okay, what do I need to do for tomorrow? And how can I do better? You know, one of the things that I've always been humbled by, that when people see my Instagram page, the first thing they're like, wow, they're like, Bertha, how did you do this? And I'm like, you know what? It's not even something I studied. I did not study this. I didn't, don't even tell me about technology. Do you know what I mean? Because it's not something that I even dreamt that I would be. I used to hate Instagram. Facebook was not something I even wanted to be on. But now I look at it as a platform, not only for my voice to be heard, but it's a platform for me to inspire other people. It's a platform for me to just be me and to use my God-given gifts that can motivate somebody. Because again, most of the time what people say to me that I just think I'm so blessed is that you hear people say things like, I've been waiting for somebody like you. What you're doing, I haven't seen it somewhere else. And I'm just like, really? And they are willing to pay money, you know? So when somebody's willing to part with their cash, you can't be joking around.
Yeah.
Because, you know what I'm saying? You cannot be joking around. You need to be on point, because word of mouth can either be for you or against you. And I'll rather people's word of mouth about me and about my work to work for me rather than against me. So my attitude towards what I do is that I'm always thinking about that customer. I'm always thinking about that potential customer. I'm always thinking about, I've heard, you know, that somebody might be watching what I'm doing. And what I'm doing is making a difference in somebody's life. And so therefore, I need to constantly be checking myself. I need to make sure that I'm always putting my best foot forward. You know, may not always be easy. It doesn't mean that I'm perfect and I get things right all the time, but that's how we learn, isn't it?
It is very
Yeah.
true. What is your what's your next steps?
Yeah, I mean, at the moment, due to the pandemic, it's slowed things down physically. So we're not really able to get out there as often as before. So the goal initially at the latter part of this year, or should I say the beginning part of this year, was meant to be that I got my work into shops. So I would have found stockists who would have pieces of my work, of my artwork in those shops. Unfortunately, that has not been the case due to how things have gone. However, that is my next step. And once I do that, I want to also break out of the UK market, either go to the US, go to Germany, go to Africa, go to Europe. I had invitation for those three countries, and I had my plane ticket and everything, hotels booked for me to go, and then, you know, this whole crisis came about. So once everything calms down and we know how things are going to plan out, I'm going to be doing a little bit of traveling so that I can get my work out there into other countries, into other nations. Somebody said on one of my posts that at least one household needs to hold a Fabric of Africa Frames artwork. And if that's the yeah, so if that is the goal, I need to go out there. At the moment, I've covered a few of our local cities within the UK. And I need to just cover a few more within the UK, and then I'll be breaking out into international market as well.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Matt. Thanks for tuning in to the first season of All Black. We will be uploading episodes every week. If you like the content, please like, please share. If you want to take it a step further, check us out on Kickstarter. The audio will be streaming on all major podcast streaming stations, and the video will be on YouTube and IG. Thanks again for